The Evil of All Beings Chapter 29 The Dark Sword. What can we do? You must do something. Lucky Double Snow. Listen, 2 legs are soft, paralyzed on the ground, she really can not stand the underground maze without end. Don't you'll call me, it is very distant. You can't call me Flying Churn, brother. Well, to be fair, I'll call you Double Snow, eating steamed bread. Flying Churn. A reluctant look, I don't want it. Lucky Double Snow. Cold hum. He also took out the dry food carefully to eat up. Don't do it, is it rare? Well, after eating, prepare to dig the hole. Log and tire will be thrown back to each other. Flying Churn. Stand up, knocking the mud wall in front, the underground maze of 4 channels, as if like earthworms climbed through the place, between the channel and the channel, sometimes only about a meter of mud walls. While moving forward, while knocking has been stiff mud walls, the 3 people dug to the north direction of Wonjia Peak. If Yunfiken's calculation is good, then the front must be the waterfall pool at the bottom of the peak, with the dark light of glow in the dark stone. Lucky Double Snow at this time has been embarrassed. A white clothes also became black and yellow, the face is also stained with a lot of soil, and the flying of nature is not good. Where to go? The whole process of the most output is he, and to calculate the direction, and to knock back and forth the weakest point in the wall, at this time is very tired. After all, is the past 2 days, after 3 days, I did not know how many miles I had traveled and how many twists and turns I had taken, while feeling the place where the anger was emanating, and looking for the location of the pool. Suddenly, a faint hissing sound came through the wall. The public. What's the matter, Prince? Hua Ling was startled, her senses are very good, and suddenly froze, leaving the green leaves, clinging to the arms of Flying Churn. Shh! Flying Churn made a silencing action. We'll be digging. Lucky Double Snow. Stop. What for? Let go. Shoulder. Break apart the claws of the other side. Lucky Double Snow. Angry way, she did not react to Fly the general heresy, still thought that 2 people together to play with her. Fool, stop talking if you don't want to die. Flying Churn glared at her, small voice. After a while, there was a chugging sound, as if some stone and earth were chewing past their ears, which went on for a long time, and they did not know what living thing it was, and the loud noise became louder and louder, even a little annoying. There was even a rustling noise as they moved past a wall, the noise of a great snake crawling, or wriggling. Lucky Double Snow is afraid of extreme. Where she went through this scene, listen to the sound, will know is a great monster, and close. A strong anger as through the wall directly hit the body, scared her. Even Log and Tire also don't hurriedly embrace Flying Churn. Don't put. Flying Churn is also secretly frightened, but half ring he was a little lost. The source of this anger is this snake. Well, isn't that my baby's guess? Do you want to go in the direction of the rage? No, that rage is not supposed to move. The snake monster moved slowly, has been for more than a moment. The sound completely disappeared. This feeling makes Flying Churn feel very bad. Measure the high path of this person, even he swallowed spit. This fierce monster must be condensed into the inner Dan, and is the strength of the evil, not now his repair to be able to resist. Flying Churn saw Lucky Double Snow at a glance, see each other has embraced their hands, huge chest has been close to their arms, heart, enjoy this natural touch alone. Another half a moment, see he did not return to God. Fei Churn corners of the mouth, claws into her chest. Lucky Double Snow hit his chest was what pinch a few times, when a shock, head down, found when Flying Churn is helping him massage, immediately even a few steps back, staring at each other speechless. He, really sweet, so soon to change the belly. It's still green, and I'll take that too. Shake the hands of the light green belly. Flying Churn simply threw into the Kainkan bag. At first he stripped each other's belly, forgot, now ruthless. The sword cut the wall, a sword down the mud. Flying, splashing face is not aware of. The mountain is afraid of tigers, the ground is afraid of shameless, 3 inches thick face but can say it will break. See inspired Double Snow hard work enthusiasm. Fly also ignore her, let her vent discontent there, and since with Flowerling their sneer. Another day later, with the sound of a wall collapsing, the 2 men finally arrived in a cave with a radius of 40 to 50 feet. Seeing a huge hole in front, Hua Ling ran into it first, but the next moment, she regretted coming in. The public, son, sword, it's a sword, all right, it's terrible. Stepping into the cave, Hua Ling looked at the black sword, in amazement, and could no longer stand. A feeling of fear made her limp to the evil of all beings in chaos. Chapter 30, Servant Girl. In front of me was a cave with a spiral floor, as if it had been circled by something. The circle was very smooth, and there was a huge hole in the ceiling, more than a foot wide, round and regular, as if it had been polished by hand. And it was this hole that let in a ray of midday sunlight, shining on the black sword. The sword was sheathless and stuck in a raised platform of smooth mud. It was 4 feet 4 inches long, with a frame as wide as the blade's body, and a handle slightly thinner than the blade's body. It looked like a perfect fit. The blade is 4 inches, the whole blade is only 2 inches wide, and the whole sword is dark, and there are small black particles floating beside it, like fog and black beads, as if there is no substance. Looking at the body of the sword, it looks like the purple sword Ju Shan in the hands of the people I often dream about, but the painting seems to be different. The death hell of a man holding the sword is dead, and the sword is a skeleton of dead bodies on the ground. Only dark clouds cover the sky, resembling the end times, and the thin mist is emanating from the dark clouds in the sword. Strange, extremely strange, a kind of heaven and earth full of strange. Guan Jian Pier, which includes a black treasure, dazzling, more like to swallow the world of sentient beings. The black sword inscription, like the death of the immortal sword, is used in ancient times of the seal script, which says, Absolute Fairy. When he stepped into the cave at that moment, suddenly a strong and violent gas came to his face. It was the essence of only know how to kill the breath, pure and cannot be pure killing gas. Ha ha, ha ha ha. That's what I want. Here it is. The best sword. Fei Chen sent to the heart of laughter, but soon, he felt an inexplicable pain from the heart came. The hand involuntarily grasped the chest, the pain into the heart, hate, an inexplicable and overwhelming wave of hatred, killing, violence, began to resonate perfectly with his own anger. Just a few dozen steps, no, as if he could get it in a single step. It was a call, and he already felt the sword calling him. Killing, uncontrollable killing. See Flying Churn form crazy laugh, step by step on the road of no return of madness. Lucky Double Snow hard against the almost let her resist the anger. Sword stood in front of him. This is evil sword. Don't come, I won't let you have it. However, Logcan Tyre is not controlled by her. Before the end of the sword trembling, almost can not move half a minute. It seems that this is the sword. Let all bow, let all die, whether it is an artifact or a fairy, whether it is a fairy or a human emperor. It's an evil sword, but everything has its opposite. The most evil. Ha ha ha. Who said I was the evil sword? Who dares say that I am an evil sword? A shrill female voice came from the sword, on which was carved the shape of a woman. The woman's eyes contain mei, thin eyebrows, delicate and charming red lips, pointed face is a melon seed shape. It is very beautiful, and the convex body, very white skin color, so that the whole is more charming, not like people, but like a year of double 10 to confuse all beings. Evil. You exude such evil anger, and dare to argue that it is not evil sword. Turn around. Lucky Double Snow is angry. Her Logcan Tyre is afraid of each other, but she is not afraid, after all, not the kind of missing nose without eyes, or covered in blood, ghosts. She is obviously a woman. Let people jealous of the woman. Well, I have lived 15,000 yuan in this body, but I have not heard anyone dare to say that I am an evil sword. This woman is powerful, but I do not know whether it is the mouth or the body. The woman angrily drank a voice, and the immortal sword was immediately full of gas, and waves of black waves were issued by the sword, like a great magic spell administered by someone, covering a range of more than 10 feet. Barra. There was a dull sound, and the snow hit the wall and fainted. Prince, don't go there, sir. Hua Ling pulled to the past Fei Chen. She is afraid that the sword will be unfavorable to Fei Chen. Flying Chen is also surprised that the sword will change out of such a woman's appearance. It is not thought of the other side of the temper of this strange. He went over to help up the Double Snow, found each other just fainted in the past, then put down the heart. Who are you? You are pretty, too, is that you? Flying Chen looked at the woman on the sword, but the mouth is a compliment. You this little baby is clever and tight. Your body structure is strange. This is suitable for the angry gas, but you are only 16 years old. but I don't know where this killing gas comes from. The woman walked into flying churn, one hand wanted to lift his chin, but could not help but fall empty. How do I know where you come from, and where do you come from? Why put it on your sword? Flying churn but directly through the woman's body, to the absolute immortal sword. He was bold since childhood, as if nothing can hold him. The woman turned around and looked at Fei Churn to the absolute immortal sword, clapped her hands and smiled. A good one does not know, but I do not know whether it is true or false. I am the sword spirit of the absolute immortal sword, born with anger, sleeping without anger. The sword, I am the sword is not me, and I am not the sword, without parasitism. Flying to see each other fall him, but also laughed. Ha ha, a good parasitic say, that this sword is not you, that he is me, That said, carrying the powerful extreme of anger, Flying Churn drink, step by step difficult to the end of Xianzhen's step in the past. The woman covered her mouth and giggled. Arrogant boy, do you know how this huge cave was formed? Ah, even the dragon snake dare not easily touch, and you do not have the strength of Xian. Want to suppress the evil spirit of the absolute immortal sword. See, you look lovely, I mention you a word, this touch, but it will be dead, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Furious rage, Flying Churn only walk more than 10 steps, will feel more and more heavy footsteps, only 10 steps in front, but as if to go on for a few years, step by step difficult. Well, I'd like to see how far you can go. The body floats empty, the woman lingers in front of the Flying Churn, looking carefully at the expression of the other side, gnashing teeth, a face of contempt. Hey! So, you, wait for me to take this magic sword. Ding, want, you, be my, sleep, yeah, lock. Biting teeth, hard word after word, Fei Churn took a step forward. After listening to the woman, the expression was first long, and then smiled. Oh, you are not only arrogant, but also so lustful. See, you white jade, fairy escape dust, compared to the men I have seen on the beauty of a few points, do not want to temperament is strange, abnormal, strange also. Hey, since childhood, my adoptive father has said, if the heart becomes a demon, it will be because of the demon, even if it is a person, it must be a demon. I have a demon in my heart, so it will be, yes, demon, evil, a trace of blood to the corners of the mouth. Flying Churn did not pay attention to, regardless of their entire body are infused with countless anger, oppression of their mind, and then took a step. Then what do you want this magic sword for? So hard, if you die, all become nothingness, worth it. Isn't there anything in the world you should be afraid of? Like death, say Fei Churn, persistent, slow forward. The woman, and curious, asked, the brow has been tightly wrinkled, but the corners of the mouth unconsciously up, is a sneer, is a mockery. Step out of the 7th step, poof, Flying Churn spouted a blood. New injuries and old problems now attack together. When speaking, even the saliva do not feel the flow out, but spell to go another step. Hi, afraid, I am naturally afraid of death, because, for I am afraid of death no one knows, dead a mystery cannot be solved, more people cannot protect, these I am afraid. As for the void, is it more terrible than these? Hey, I want this magic sword, because I need it, I want it. These are the root and origin of the above conditions. Flying Churn has almost delirious, like drunk general, half awake half drunk. What words are still falling asleep? The woman's thin, upturned lips now calmed down and repeated, because you want to protect someone who cares about you. That's why you'd rather die than surrender. The woman asked again, as if answering for him, Prince. Dude, stop it. Don't go. Who? A gonna die. Hua Ling doesn't want you dead. Ish Hua Ling likes child. After all these trials and tribulations, Hua Ling has been as a stubborn man for their own life. If he died, she may also follow. Thinking so, she threw herself forward regardless of everything, but before she had gone 2 steps, she had been slapped by the strong anger, hit the wall, and her throat was sweet, and the blood was suddenly spit out. The greater the momentum, the greater the counterattack. Who? Don't go, sir. Don't go there, Hua Ling cried and moved forward, but her body was already soft and boneless, no matter how much the surly gas, that the absolute fairy sword blew, no matter how much the air like flying stones. While crying, she slowly walked to the place where the Flying Churn was, although there were more than 10 zhangs, but in her heart, how far could the 10 zhangs be? Don't come. Lift up the foot. Fei Chern's face has been pulled into the expression of terror. There are only 3 steps left, but I advise you again, keep this little life, with your qualifications, within 50 years. It is not difficult to step into Fuzian, turn around, now your lungs have been injured. If you do not listen to advice, the next step on the step, the spleen will collapse, the second step of the heart will stop, the last step, the world will no longer exist. You this person, let alone can get the magic sword, transparent body from behind to embrace Flying Chern. The woman seems to have a sadness from the heart. Hey, what are you holding me for? Don't you like and fuck me? I Cloud, Flying Chern do not know you now, but I allow you to do my service. Sleep, lock after I get the absolute, immortal sword. The raised foot is like 1,000 June force, and with a bang, it steps on the solid ground, and the cave immediately cracks up, and the rattling sound is extremely frightening, as if it will immediately crumble into powder and disappear. I don't know if it's the sword's power, or his own. Suddenly, the very violent breath burst open again, the sound of stepping on the foot, spread to the sky, shaking the whole cave is shaking, no less than the power of the sky of the lightning is lower, and the cave above, more than a foot wide opening has been dry thunder, as if it does not allow this surly air of the absolute sword, constantly in the sky with teeth, as if to fight against the absolute sword. You defied heaven to get this sword. Don't come back. You can't even avoid the thunder. Do you really think I cheated you? The woman broke a sound, floating in front of Flying Chern, hands open, want to stop Flying Chern, but how can she stop? The absolute immortal sword absorbs the anger of heaven, people and demons, and has become the most vicious sword in the world that no one can control in the world. If the ban is forcibly lifted, it will be destroyed by heaven, the woman said again. Flying Chern sneer, lean forward, step up. The evil of all beings. Chapter 31 Heavenly punishment. No trace of the peak, rolling clouds to the sky 1,000 purple thunder, everything on the ground a barren, thunder thundered, the clouds quickly condensed, upwelling to the north, the sky quickly darkened, the sun was covered by clouds, the black air spread the sky instantaneously. Do not know whether it is killing or angry gas. Under Wanjiafeng, the original deep forest that grew for many years was the purple lightning that fell down from the sky became flying ash. Whether it was 100 years or 1,000 years old tree, touching both collapse, is for the day. Clearly feeling his spleen was torn, Flying Chern just frowned, turned white eyes immediately returned to swarthy, but just as he was about to open his mouth again, blood gushed up from his throat, the liver, spleen, and lungs had almost lost their function, and he could not even speak. Breathing became extremely difficult, and he did not know whether he was breathing, or whether the air was going into it autonomously. He was in a trance, and his right hand was stretched forward, as if to say, even if he died, he would also get the magic sword. The blood, dripping on the cracked and dry ground, disappeared again before a sound could be uttered. The absolute sword came from the 9 days above, with the wind, with thunder, will open the mouth of the peak. 1,000 feet of the north of the mountain drilled a hole, surly gas attracted the dragon snake, sword mound made a nest, its heart became a demon, Barra. Lift the foot down hard, one more step. Purple thunder flying, the peak next to the peak more than a jang wide opening exploded into nothingness. Since then, flying naked in the sky, Rob thunder as if warning the man in front of him, and then dare to take a step forward, beyond the Laikai, turned into flying ashes him. The next step, the heart will be the first to bear it, and in the last step, the heavens will fall, and turn you back to nothingness. The girl is like talking in her sleep, because the man in front of her does not know whether he can hear, or not. The liver, the spleen, and the lungs had all lost their function, and he had only one heart left, a magnificent, indomitable heart. But the next moment, he had no heart left. Ha 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 ha, you little girl is really wordy, wait for when I show you. Greatly forward step. Suddenly, Fei Chern felt something broken, be done with. Is this heartbreak? The left hand covers the heart, but the right hand is still carrying. Flying Chern delirious fell to the ground. Ahem, I am not leaving. Little grandpa crawls too, have one's hands on it. Back to the flying. The girl silently looked up to the dark day. She already did not know what to say. Nothing can describe the persistence of the young. She did not want to see him die. It will make her think of more birds, birdsong go to return to the forest, cooking, smoke, curling straight up to heaven. The gods on the mountain sleep on the couch. The flying churn, who has completely lost his mind, is chanting his favorite evil poem, and the 2 feet are pushing the ground randomly, once and again, and want to take this to promote such a small step. Old man, where did you go? Clever, how about you? Teacher, Fu, I am afraid. Prince, who? Hualing called out for the last time, then fainted. He, and sister, Flower with Hualing, smile at heaven and earth. Scenes flash by, the world is silent. He touched the absolute immortal sword at that moment. The girl also slowly closed her eyes. In an instant, the sky thunder. Purple thunder fell on the 9 days, a strip fell on the flying churn, fell on the absolute immortal sword. Xiangxia Peak, located in the border of the Zhou state, 300 miles northeast of Xiancao town, more than 700 miles south of Kingsonman, here evergreen, grass and yingfei, in addition to the summer slightly hot, no defects, there are many maple trees on the mountain, and when the sun shines in the season, the mountain is full of red, especially when the sunset. The Tiano Lake on the mountain is brilliant, a scale of light. Yaoilao is like a fairyland on earth. The Taoist temple on the mountain named Xiangxia School, since the founding of Ruking, the founder of the school 100 years ago. All the schools are women. There are 46 students on the mountain, 14 tea houses at the foot of the mountain, and more than 70 disciples outside, totaling 130 people. Within the Taoist school, the source of life is refining herbal medicine and planting herbs. There is a mountain manor, specializing in planting herbal green tea, and the outer disciples are scattered in the nearby towns, or opening tea shops, or opening pharmacies and medical libraries. Although the operation is ordinary, there is a surplus every month. Xiangxia Hall, main hall of Xiangxia Peak, flying stars. Can't you get it back? Looking at the tired faces of the 4 disciples, Ruyushi's face was a burst of disappointment. 7 days have not come back. Brother should not. Has something happened? Fang Jitsi worry Wei, see Fang Jitsi look a little weak. Chang Ruiting immediately began to cry. Wow, Juxian Mountain cannot be found. The wild boar Juxian Mountain. He also said that since his younger brother left 2 years ago, he had not seen anyone. I went back to Xiangxia town, but I heard that, my brother, oh, come on, don't cry, it's no use crying. Xi Manxing hand on Chagruting's shoulder to help its breath Wei. She is a little urgent. My brother has been arrested. Lin Ruiyu face pale, do not know, a few days did not sleep, a face of confusion. My brother has been captured by the enemy. It is the first green leaf immortal sword. He killed Gongsun Wanyan, the son of Gongliang Bai. And then, Chagruting feet are soft, a think of flying churn has been killed by each other, their own goodbye to the favorite brother. They will faint. In the side of Fang Jitsi quickly will hold people. A few people looked at Lin Ruiyu. Lin Ruiyu shook his head, turned. Tears have flowed down the corner of the eye. 4 female disciples are separately looking for flying churn, and 9 Fairy Mountain direction is the key position to find. So is Lin Ruiyu and Chang Ruiting 2 people to go, and the afternoon chasing Yang Sword several people did not go to find. In the 2nd day of Yunshan, see flying churn has not come. Chang Ruiting and Lin Ruiyu 2 people have been in a trance, where there is thought on this sword, is to come back to Xiangxia Peak on the 3rd day, but when they found that flying churn did not return to Xiangxia Peak, just know that things are very bad, so that around, just have today's things, several disciples dispersed in despair. Ruiyu Poetry found that she was a little uneasy, barely stood up, and went to the room of his disciples, who only admitted into the door for 2 years. These days, I have not slept at all. I wait every day, I hope every day, and I almost scold myself for not following me, so that now this disciple has not seen anyone alive or dead, and now she is full of remorse, and has been arrested by one of the most notorious monastic people, such as Gong Liang Bai, and the results can be imagined. Touching the white and neatly folded quilt, Ruiya's hand gently touched the tears that almost fell, and sighed. Little monkey, you can't have an accident. You also said that after the cultivation of Dafa, to protect the teacher, the evil that ravages all beings. Chapter 32, the innocent scourge, the Wanjia peak that was baptized by the day was almost smashed to the ground and became a void, and there was no Wanjia peak in the world, and a purple lightning bolt to the end of the sword continued to fall. 1, 2, a total of 9, am I going to die? Is this the mine? Was it like this before it disappeared? After a lightning strike, Flying Chern only felt a purple in front of him, but he felt that his senses had become sober. He silently closed his eyes, feeling the thunder hit himself. His body became transparent, and even his heart, liver, spleen and lungs could see clearly. He thought he might disappear. However, to his surprise, things are not as he thought. First, the heart slowly recovered, became lively and strong, and every beat seemed to become clear and audible. And then the lungs slowly healed, and even breathing was smooth, and the liver and spleen returned to the original intact, just like eating some magic medicine, and it was very comfortable. What's the matter? Am I not to be turned into flying dust, as the woman said? Why does the body get stronger? Flying Chern looked at his hand, so the original transparent hand began to slowly cover a layer of white jade flawless skin. Even the original scars are perfect healing. And when he picked up the sword and looked closely, it became like a conductive iron bar, introducing all the lightning into his body, and then accelerating to reassemble it again. The rumbling thunder continued, one after another. The body automatically flowed out of the spiritual force. With the day thunder forging body, the spirit of heaven and earth is rushing into the body. He only felt as if his body was just like a piece of rubble piled up in general. And this day thunder is to break these stones into sand, and then fill the gap between those stones. The empty place is able to absorb the spirit of heaven and earth greedily, and so he gradually adapted to this feeling. With the 9 purple days of thunder fall, only feel their whole body in the crisp itch is slowly like rammed earth to join the world spirit slowly solid, the original stone into stone powder, and then add the world spirit, and even recomposition. Why is that? Why can lightning improve my body structure? Look up to the sky. Boom! A thunderous purple flashed down. Even if he is bold, but also scared him, quickly closed his eyes. But even if you close your eyes, the thunder is constantly falling down, and 9 consecutive. 99 days. This young man went up in smoke. Why do you need a lightning strike? Hearing the 10th thunder, the girl who had turned her back to Fei Chern turned around and opened her bright eyes. The next moment, she was surprised. The young man in front of him, the absolute immortal sword, his hands open, as if he was very satisfied with the purple sky that fell down from the sky, as if everyone could make him change, and everyone could make him evolve. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. See Monday. Smash it down. Flying Chern only felt a full of power from the body impact, then spread. This is a wonderful power, pleasure, stimulation, comfortable, incomparable feeling made his whole body beat a tremor. The girl's eyes widened in disbelief. How can it be? Why would it be okay under the thunder? Why can he control the sky thunder? Looking at the girl's surprised eyes, Fei Chern smiled and went over to tease her. Hey, you have become my bedservant girl. Tell me, what's your name? However, with every step he took, the purple thunder fell on him again, continuously, seemingly without end, as if it would blow it into powder. Don't you come over here. You triggered the 99 days. The lightning is not over yet. The woman's body is almost transparent and can float freely in the air, but when she sees this vision, she forgets to fly and takes a few steps back. Are you afraid? How many more thunderbolts? Fei Chern corners of the mouth turned up, 2 eyes have been dark and deep, cannot see any trace of impurities inside. 37 more. Why? Why aren't you destroyed? Who the hell are you? Are you really that teenager? Man, is absolutely impossible to resist the thunder. Not to mention the 99 days. The girl frowned, but there was a hint of vigilance in her eyes. Oh, how do I know? I am Yun Fei Chern. Yun Fei Chern is me. The taste of thunder this day is really delicious. Everyone makes me feel a point of physical enhancement. It's not fun if it goes through too quickly. Looking at a day thunder down, Flying Chern cannot help but feel that this let his body comfortable lightning came a little less. Ha ha. Evil, you are the strangest evil I have ever seen. You enjoy heaven before others can escape it. The girl laughed, as if she also thought she was very funny, just a teenager, but somehow let herself alert. Does this sister know how this tragedy came about? How can you bring about the 99 days of destruction you speak of? Did not pay attention to a road to hit the sky thunder. Flying Chern actually gave you the girl chat. The girl looks older than him, the body is much higher than his several senior sisters, naturally called her sister. The girl's phoenix eyes narrowed, and the thief Yo-Yo said, hey, do you think this is a fun thing? In addition to going against the sky, killing more people, since it will also cause a day of looting, 15,000 yuan will. The absolute sword only launched more than 100 times, the 99 days of looting. Although not the strongest, but you break the prohibition has such a strong power, it is rare. If you want to trigger more than the 99 thunder of the day of looting, then kill more. You soon you might kill people. Flying Churn said the girl's expectations, this kind of treacherous eyes he is often hanging on the face, a little think can see the crafty. The girl showed Yan, covering her mouth and giggling until her chest trembled, and said, if you hold the absolute immortal sword, the world is no longer peaceful, and you don't want to kill anyone at that time. Moreover, when those old guys know that you have got the absolute immortal sword, do you think you can still live a quiet life? Boom! During the speech, the last thunder finally hit down, smashing him with a shock, almost unconscious in the past. This lightning is different from the previous purple, is a black color, but it makes him feel more powerful than the previous 80 purple thunder combined, and the physical ascension is more pure. What is this? Flying Churn shaking stood up and asked, looking at the sky cannot help, but some stunned. The girl's brow was tightly wrinkled again. Evil, so even can't hit you. Even the general fairy also dare not hard carry which 99 days thunder. You clearly don't even have the strength to fly, fairy. How on earth did you do it? Looking at the last bullet, thunder did not wish to blow him up. The girl appears to be very afraid. The abnormal thing is a demon. How can she not understand this truth? 15,000 yuan will. The time must not be said is not long, but in the past to get the absolute immortal sword, the people who trigger the day will either go up in smoke, or they will have to find some side doors to escape. But this young man should resist the thunder and die. How not to let her fear? Ha, just now you are waiting for this lightning hit me. And I will do nothing to you that you are so wary of me. Tell me quickly, what is this black lightning? Flying Churn is laughing, will faint on the ground of the flowerling, and lucky double snow wake up. Flowerling wake up, looking at the flying in front of the eyes, tears, holding him speechless, and luck double snow is on the flying hands holding the absolute immortal sword. Heart fear was already furled eyebrows, at the moment is not able to say angry. She does not know how to fly the evil sword, but to get rid of the evil heart is not half. Flying Churn is also staring at double snow for a long time. See, she still don't speak. A smile. Evil claws will quickly and skillfully pinch each other's breasts. Lucky double snow is dazed, completely unguarded, was caught by this claw. She did not put on the belly, was so pinched. The face is uncertain, red is not green and cannot see. The eyes to burst out fire to the front of the 80 is 9 god thunder, and the last one, this is 33 days outside the thunder, is the flying fairy can be hit to death. Young girl, to bully lucky double snow but turn a blind eye, just look serious around fly in front of the eyes, carefully staring at each other. She lived a long life, but do not understand the young man in front of her. Deep eyes, strange physique, these are unheard of since she was born. See, never seen. You have a strange disposition, now the same, and then the same. Do you want me to die or do you want me to live? Flying Churn furrowed his eyebrows, turned to look at this moment in front of the crazy, a moment and serious woman. The heart cannot help but curious. The girl's phoenix eyebrows narrowed into a line, her temperament changed again, and she smiled and said, naturally, I want you to live. My slave's family is not all your people now. My slave's sweet words, and I pay a visit to your master. Hey, that's okay. I'll follow you later. Fei Churn walked over, the hand lifted each other's chin, but found that fell empty. Owaho. Owloa. While the two are flirting with each other, a huge, skinless silver snake comes out of the cave. Flying station recently, the python string directly hit him, knocked him into the front dozens of feet away from the wall. Another boom, when the wall collapsed, more than 10 meters high cave collapsed, the Fei Churn and the snake head buried. Flying clouds. But did not want to double snow shout, has been carrying a sword after the snake head and go, but only after a few feet, she suddenly remembered what stopped, just staring at the collapse of the mud wall. Flying Churn did not defense like cover sacrifice, the snake is ready to go. See, each other did not pay attention, suddenly out to kill this handsome man, take back their own peep for a long time of the sword. Prince. Be lucky double snow, this obviously with worry drink wake up. The reaction of the flowerling also shouted, scared flower rung pale. When the dragon snake saw that he had succeeded in beating, his heart was really excited, and his tail was pulled out of the hole at the same time. Its body was 30 feet long, more than 10 feet thick, and its head was smooth and round, but it had extremely sharp teeth. It looked like a huge silver earthworm, and it was covered with a layer of solid and smooth white scales. The dragon snake cries like a tiger, so it goes to the lucky double snow, but startled not check, allow himself into his own world. Is he dead? Why do you worry about him all of a sudden? Am I crazy? He killed elder son and bullied me, why would I? The evil of all beings. Chapter 33. The evil, flying churn was hit into the earth wall at a depth of more than 10 feet. The depth of nature is needless to say. It was very close to the waterfall, and now a shock, a lot of lake water spread into the cave, and the dragon snake nest was hit by the sky into an open pit, and at the moment became like a wet quagmire. Wait for double snow to react. The dragon snake has jumped in front of her. Life will knock her flying. Bang, a sound, the earth wall was smashed out of a hole. Lucky double snow, a blood spray in the protective gang cover, obviously suffered a very heavy internal injury. At the moment she only feel all bones are cracked open, like a few tons of stone pressure in general. She knows, if not their own open protective gang cover, may have been killed by this strike. In order to take off, people want to come. She could hardly control her emotions. He didn't even have time to open the angulation. Maybe he's dead now. But why? Looking at the place where flying falls, lucky double snow tears overflow, but still do not know. She does not know why she is so lost at the moment, whether she has lost important things. She feels the whole body is paralyzed, and cannot stand up again. More than 30 jang long dragon snake a roar, as if to announce their victory. It is absorbed the heaven and earth of the spirit and born of the creatures, for the absolute immortal sword, this world of the most overbearing spirit of the treasure. It is determined to win. Not to speak of, it is already open to the spirit of the world of the beast, at the bottom of the pit of the sky. Since the absolute immortal sword broke through the sky from the 9 days, it only sought this anger and made a nest next to the absolute immortal sword. And now this land is destroyed by people. Naturally, it is extremely angry, and the roar is endless, and it has spread out to 100 miles, and it is good that there is no human settlement here, otherwise it does not know how to scare several people's courage. The blood from the new lake turned the water into a pale red, smelly, and extremely frightening. In his rage, the dragon snake sprayed a mist of blood towards the place where his tail was cut off just now, and the water, they're almost boiled. After these, immediately twist the head, dozens of zhangs of the body upright up, more than 10 zhangs, to control the flying sword of the double snow, and the flowerling of the illusion of birds to go. Wherever it goes, it will fall to the ground of the trees once again, squeezed into bark like flakes. Amazing momentum, and because the flying was hit, do not know where to go. Lucky double snow, 2 people are now in a trance, where to notice this change. Even flying sword are driven to lose the goal, and flowerling in the air is also anxious, but she did not fly sword fast. In the face of this has condensed into demon snake. Sea will be eaten into the belly. Suddenly, a man from the lake to step, sword flying, clang when a sound, with its own protective gang cover, and through the cloud arrow general pounded out of the dragon snake head hit together. I saw a roar, and the dragon snake was shocked more than 10 feet, and struggled with pain on the ground, and the people who fly out of the lake are not much better. Pat, the head of severe pain, scolding slightly, said, wow. It's hot. You pancake chopping board animal looks crazy. Want to cook to kill the little man. It wasn't Yunfei Chen, who else could it be? I saw that he had several big holes in his clothes at this time, and his hair was a mess, all of which had lost the handsome and charming color before. Obviously, he had not had time to guard against the sudden attack of the dragon snake just now, and was knocked full of feelings, but strangely enough, he had no bruises on his body. The repair did not increase the slightest bit, but the body was a lot stronger. Hey, it is also a good thing. I still thought that the butcher's snake hit the end of life, but did not think about anything, did not immediately attack the dragon snake. Flying Churn looked up and down his body, and glanced at the sword. Dexterous words, the cunning speech gave him a look and said, see what I have done, you demon, ha ha. You are a very strange woman, sometimes mad and sometimes good. Fei Churn laughed, no longer pay attention to the rhetoric, A strong anger of the absolute immortal sword rushed to the dragon snake. In the evening, from here more than 2,000 miles of Xianxia mountain, the intermittent summer rain again swing at the top of the mountain. This rain is rare in the summer, long and long, so intermittent under 2 days and 2 nights, as if also like Ruoyu poetry at the moment of the heart, a moment of melancholy, a moment of sadness, but leisurely swirl incessantly. In the first 2 years, he sent her greetings and meals every day, which became a habit of her, and even every hour she could not sit still any longer. Ruoyu poetry felt that only this disciple can make him so concerned about it, although he has shortcomings, such as speaking always not serious, doing things boldly, etc. But it is sweet, can put the dead to live, so it is the love of all the people in their door, including her, and even she thinks that he is not too much indulge him, so she decided to let him go out to experience, let him leave her. But he did not think that his apprentice actually can not come back. When the habit becomes natural, when the concern becomes a concern, the struggle of people seems to be the most weak. In these 7 days, she is afraid every day for her favorite son. Food and sleep is not good, and now he walked into his room. You too, Ruoyu poetry, but found not just themselves to come here first. Lin Ruoyu and Chagriting already silently sitting in the room of flying. Who, master? I think little master brother. Chagriting character is the most cowardly. See, his master came, the grievance in the heart will rise to the extreme, and then can not control, crying, master. Lin Ruoyu silently looked up, called the sound master, and did not speak. Ruoyu poetry, how do not know the character of this student, once encountered unhappy things, will be silent, is not to comfort, just gently nod. These 3 people will sit here in a daze, in order to remember that life and death do not know the flying churn. However, they did not know that Xianxia Peak has been about to disaster. No, oh, no. There's someone at the tea house down the hill. Master, where has master gone? Several students with swords rushed in from the mountain gate. Most of the white clothes have been stained with red blood into plum blossoms, obviously after a bloody battle, and it is rainy at the moment. It is very depressed. Seems to have gone to the little teacher's house again. Where did the thief come from? Si Mangxiang asked one of her disciples with a tight frown. It's the dust school. For some reason, no faction in the neighborhood has tipped us off. Even the nearest Chaixia faction is hiding it from us. That disciple is also a face of anger. This dust sect she cannot know, at least 2,000 miles away from Xianxia sect. Sect disciples and secular people are very close. Reputation. But it is not good. If someone wants to report early in 2 days ago, there must be someone who blocked the news. Have you sent word to the other houses? How many are there? One side is from the hall out of Fang Jitsi worry asked. The news could not be spread at all, and the dust circle sent out all their nests, as if they could fly with swords. As the disciple said this, his face looked frightened. Cultivation is not induction period. It is impossible to fly the sword. Although not everyone can fly the sword, but 200 or 300 people are there. Their Xianxia school can bend the sword on the 10 disciples and 20 or more door teachers who can be optimistic about this situation. A few people finished speaking. The sky one after another royal sword before and after flying 2 men are a brown Taoist robe. A look will know is the dust of the people. Hey hey, Xianxia sent those small waves of hooves. Look at the next 2. Tut tut, it is really a sign of tight. I feel soft when I kill. Brother, did you ask the master? The mountain has just been my body broken. Zai can stay with me. The sharp-mouthed man looked down from the sky, staring at the disciples guarding the mountain, with a dirty smile on his face. The person next to each other looked white and smiled. You this bad calf, just now when you came up, the master has killed her with a sword. The master said, Xianxia cannot stay, want a woman. Hey hey, do you think Xianxia is a brothel? Get your act together. What difference does it make? Rape first and then kill. Anyway, to kill. Otherwise come so soon to do. I have heard before that there are 5 beautiful women in this gate of Xianxia. Not only each symbol, but also the pair of breasts are very big and tight. The man licked his mouth and his little eyes were fierce. Ha ha, you boy, be careful master heard. Say don't go out of line. We are but the 2 major town mountain disciples of the Dust Edge Mountain. Words and deeds should be decent. To know that after this incident, we can also be a decent family. A pat on each other's shoulder. The white jade person squeezed his eyes, but spoke with a deep meaning. Hey hey, I know, is not the 4 disciples of Zionxia Gate belong to me, then the head of Zionxia Gate belongs to you. The sharp-mouthed man pushed each other back and smiled knowingly. Between the 2 people talking, there are dozens of dust pie people. Will Zionxia Mountain surrounded? The meaning is very obvious. Is the chicken dog do